So sitting next to you, or sitting behind you or front, so sitting next to you, you might be sitting next to Black Devil.
Rit Nalej Radio.
Chapter 82, verse 6. I have saved ye of gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
This is the Elder Raziel with a message for the children of the Elohim.
I walked a long journey on the short path. Grafted this non-mind, this mind expands math itself. Came through with the master teacher. Get wealth from what I have to teach you. Not a preacher, the Anunnaki created this creature, fully packed with features. Nuwabu, knocking off leeches. Peace to Malachi, Ziyor, Noble Jurali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, respect and pay homage. From the Nuwabian tribe, we hope to see you. We still kicking the flows, all the girls know. Just list the show, so your mind grows toward a genetic explosion. X out whoever was chosen by deception. To sell out Negro, the greatest destruction. Without question, knowledge is a weapon. Like Cain, ain't no half-stepping to a greater direction.
I want to talk to y'all real quick, you know what I'm saying? Get personal shit. Hard to play, family man. Hard to play. Well, you don't even know where the family stand. Too many egos, too many voices that ain't reaching out to people. I'm at 64. I mean, real blood. Pops ain't home, but if he still was, minus the allegations. I wish I knew if it was really true or fabrication. Some of your kids think you did it, got me looking at you strange. Like would they be the same if they ain't grow with the pain? I mean, 200 kids you couldn't find the time for. Do you regret not making time for us? Still screaming free you. Unanswered questions got me wanting to go see you. I'm sure you was dealing with pressure just trying to be you. Heard your own son ratted on you to them people. That's nasty. Even if you did it, the thought would've never passed me. As if you asked me. Everybody out for self. Quicker to go to friends before I ask family for help. I'm tired of people asking me why Jacob don't help. I don't know. Damn. It feel like we drowning in quicksand. They throw more salt, I'm thinking they reaching for my hands. 500 acres, Egyptian theme on the land. Way too much power and to be a black man.
I'm talking to the Anunnaki. With me, I'm talking with Inky. Murdoch, you know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with Inky because I know who Inky is. I know who Inky's family is. I know who Inel is, and I knew it. And I know when the Holy Tablets was coming, I know who was there and what it was talking to. Right. I knew behind the face of Anu, there was a force that goes back further than that, 9 dimensions. But everything was not for the mortal ear at the time. Right. That's why in Christianity they use the word faith. You know, or in Islam they use the word mu'min or iman, faith. But when it comes down to with Nuwabian, you say, listen, Nuwabian, let me teach you about Anu and Inky. They want me to make God manifest for us so we will believe. That sounds very familiar, right? Yeah. They want everything. They don't want to put any trust in their leaders or their teachers. They want me to put everything on. Had I gave them everything the way it was coming to me, the devil would have long time, the reptilian shapeshifters would have long time saw where I was going and nipped it off. I had to put out sporadic. I had to jump from place to place. I had to jump from name to name. I had to jump from religion. And in each one, every time I gave you a little something more. Right. About the whole big picture, which we now come down and put. Now you're going to start seeing the whole picture come together as one thing, and you're going to see everything from day one, from the day one, from the day.
And this is your host, Tutasha Mahedo Caillou, coming to you from the United Nuwabian Nation of Moor's National Radio. And the date, the Gregorian date, March 17th, 2025. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, I got this little new device I got with me in the tractor, so be patient with me. Just trying to get the levels right. All right. So I gave you the Gregorian date. You know, I'm going to give you the Nuwabian date, too. It's year 84, month of Hathor, or Hathor, however you want to pronounce it. It is the 4th week of Lakah, and it's the first day, Tashul, of Anu. And this is Tutashima coming to you from the state of Arizona. I know I ain't made a show in a while. It's been probably about 4 months. A lot of things been happening personally in my life, and the Most High is always with me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Neti Oro is always with me. So I have nothing to complain about. Just been putting in a lot of smart work, which includes a little hard work. But we got Golden Moor clothing coming out. We got tennis shoes, socks are being made. We got a face mask being made, even though we're just coming out of the winter season. Surprisingly, there's been a lot of cold fronts coming through down south. I've been down south delivering loads. East Coast is cold. Wyoming, man, I've been everywhere. Oregon, Washington State, Idaho. I've been out there, y'all, and it's been cold all over, but it does seem like it's warming back up, so that's good. I do want to state that we will be returning to me reading The Man from Planet Risk. I haven't finished reading that book yet. Life came up, opportunities came up to grow some of our Nuwabian businesses, and I took it. So it is what it is. Anybody's hating on that, then you need to just step away. Which gets me into a story I want to tell about. I ain't gonna say no names, but where I work at. Well, I work for our own company. It's called Amun Logistics, right? Amun Logistics, and that's a company for our nation. Even though I'm driving, I'm pretty soon gonna buy another tractor, get a brother in there. You know what I mean? Get a Moorish Nuwabian brother in there, or get a Moorish brother. He ain't gotta be Nuwabian, and we gotta start our businesses, man. The reason why Nuwabians are weak right now, weak spiritually and weak financially, is because we're waiting for a savior. Right? We're waiting for a savior. And so if you ever knew Dr. York, right, you should probably write about Dr. York, who he was, kind of like how we as Muslims would write about the Prophet Muhammad if we were living during the time through hadith, right? So it needs to be done me and Jadid. So it needs to be done again, but not for the Prophet Muhammad, but for Amanu Birakhta. It needs to be done again, since I'm a man to Tashima, and I never met Dr. York in the flesh. Those who did meet Dr. York need to pick up the pen and the paper, or pad, or rock, or stone, whatever, cement and carvings, it doesn't really matter, and start writing and putting out material about the master teacher. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black devils, not even in just the Sabian Nuwabian community, which are two separate communities that speak two separate languages. Also in those Moors who are lost, which call themselves black people. Black people are turning into racists, just like their slave master, Black people are turning into racists, and some of them are even racist toward Nuwabians and Sabians, and people of the Moorish Science Temple. Oh, y'all just don't want to be black, F y'all, and da-da-da-da-da. A lot of stuff I don't hang around nobody, so I don't see it. Oh, actually, I did go through something 2 weeks ago that I wanted to talk to you guys about. There was a sister I was kind of friends with her at this contract that I'm working now. She's a company driver. I'm a contract driver. I got my own company. Moon Logistics, like I just explained before. And we were friendly, at least, toward each other for probably about 3.5 months. No, I met her at orientation. We were cool. she a little big for me. I don't like big women. So it's better to stay on the friend level because I wasn't attracted to her like that. But she was a nice sister, voluptuous in ways, but that stomach was sticking out too far for me. But, you know, some brothers would hit anything. So, but not me. I'm very particular about my women. So, yeah, if you hear some noise on the outside, I'm in the truck parking lot. So, you know, these big rigs, they make a lot of noise. So what I wanted to get to here was we actually had some arguments over like so-called black people, like what's good for Negroes or niggas or whatever they're calling themselves today, so-called black people. You know, is Nipsey Hussle a cultural icon? I say no. And I'm from Southern California. I say no, he's a gangbanger. He gangbanger that made some music. I mean, he had a little business idea. He sold some T-shirts, and I'm not gonna put him up there with Dr. York and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Prophet Muhammad. No, I don't worship celebrities like blacks do. Nuwabians, we know better. We don't praise celebrities, you know. But some of these blacks do. Black people worship celebrities, and so don't get mixed up with the black thing. Stay Nuwabian. Don't get mixed up with the black thing. That will lead you to a path of destruction. Trust me, you're going down a path that's very black. Very black, very bleak. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a good path to go down. Stay Nuwabian. Stay with the doctrines, the teachings of Nuwabu, no matter what. No matter what. It will be your salvation. And it's not a religion. Nuwabu is just, it's a way of life. Even if you took away the gods and all that stuff, it's a way of life. If you took away religion, Nuwabu is still there. So Nuwabu is not a religion. It's our culture. It's simply our culture. Now, our native religion is Sheta Naktior, right? Which means the secrets of nature. Some people translate as the secrets of God, but God is an English word, God. It's actually God. It's G-O-D, not G-A-D, right? It's God. And when you're talking about the God, you're talking about the Viking religion with Woden and Frigga and Thor. That's why, you know, Friday is named Friday. It's short for Frigga's Day, right? And Thursday is Thor's Day. Wednesday is Woden's Day, who's the chief deity within the English pantheon of gods. So when you say God, you're not. You think you're translating you have no idea what you're talking about. Whoever does that, that's why Dr. York back in the day said, don't translate Allah as God, a God. No, you can't do that. Just stick with the name Allah. Just put it in your English sentence. You know, I praise Allah, because it's not God. And anyway, if it was a transliteral translation, it'll be the God, because all is obviously the definite article in Arabiya, alughati Arabiyati. So, yeah, stay away from that. Plus, let me get back to the story of the sister. Let me not get off track. I'm a little rusty at this. I haven't done it in 4 months, but I still remember, y'all. So the sister was cool for about 4 months, but she had ulterior motives, y'all. Because, you know, I'm getting, hopefully I get to see my wife soon from Thailand, and I'm still trying to get her over here. But that's my choice. You know what I mean? That's my choice of a wife, and I would tell her about it. And wouldn't talk about it too much, but, you know, sometimes it would come up. And her past relationship would come up with some dude she was dating for 17 years that didn't want to marry her. You know what I mean? And you know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you know, You probably should have moved on a long time ago, but I mean, it's your decision. It has no bearing on me. You know, hopefully you find what you're looking for. I don't know if she secretly liked me or not. I have no idea. Usually when I talk to people, I just put it up front what my position is. I'm open to dating, I'm not. We're just talking, are we friends? Especially because I'm 44 years old. So when you get older, let me tell the young dudes this, when you get older, when you're younger, you can kind of, if you're a player, you can kind of just play around with women and do what you want. But when you get older, women get a lot more serious. Let me just tell the young dudes this. They get a lot more serious, and they want to lock. If you're a decent man, you're doing your thing, they trying to lock you down. They're going to try to lock, especially if they don't have a lot going for themselves. Or even if they do have a lot going for themselves, I'm talking about a woman, they're going to try to lock you down. Yeah, I got many stories about this. But, so I was just talking with the sister, right? And I guess she has a friend named Mike, right? And Mike been in prison, you know. It's like a lot of so-called black people have been in prison, probably in and out of prison his whole life. So I kind of, when I heard her talk, you know, I kind of brought up Dr. York, and she brought up a question. She was kind of agitated. I noticed that she used to get agitated quickly, but I would just brush it off like, oh, okay, you know, that's black people. Black people are highly emotional. Highly uncontrollably emotional, and that's why I tell Nuwabians get rid of them from your circle. I know it sounds harsh, but they would get rid of you in a heart second. Oh, he a Nuwabian. Trust me, niggas is racist now. Black people are racist now. They're more prejudiced, I think, than Caucasians. So watch out. I'm telling y'all, watch out. Just like I said in my song, the sellout Negro is the greatest destruction, without question. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge is our weapon. Like Cain, ain't no half-stepping. So I'm telling you this for your own good out here. I don't care if it sounds harsh. I don't care if it sounds unfair. No one said life is fair. I'm just telling you the truth right now. Those people will destroy you because they have no idea who they are. If you have no idea who you are, you're not even trying to figure out who you are, or you think you're a nigger or a nigga, what good gonna come out of that? Spiritually, what mind state, mentally, what is good gonna come out of that? No culture equals no life. No identity. If your identity is slave, which if you say you're black, you're slave, because the only reason you're a U.S. citizen is because of the 14th Amendment. Right? Because you have a label. You've labeled yourself black. There's no such thing as a black race. So anyway, let me get back to talking about the sister. When I brought up, you know, going to prison, she said, oh, well, going to prison is just going to prison. Like, she's not using her brain. And most women, you'll find out when they're getting to desperate straits, it's all emotion and there's no brain power there. The brain power is gone. It's strictly just emotion. Without thinking, I didn't even think human beings were capable of this, but they are, because the God and the devil showed me. So this sister proceeds to say, well, going to jail is just the same. I said, well, you think the Black Panthers going the same as somebody drug dealing like Mike, right? You think that's the same? You think that holds the same weight? And then she tried to insult me and see black women do this because they're hurt. They try to hurt you. So I told her about Dr. York voluntarily. She don't know nothing about no spirituality. She's from down south, very small town in Georgia. I always call it nigga hating Georgia because that's what it is. I mean, it's down south. I feel sorry for her where she grew up. I grew up in California. So Caucasians weren't going to do that in California. We'd hang them up on a tree in Compton or L.A., anywhere in L.A. County. They're getting banged on hard and called names and all that in Cali. Cali ain't the same as down south. It ain't the same. I'm pretty sure in New York, they're going to put it down on some racist white boys, too. That's not going to happen in Cali. Not in L.A. Not in the Mexican neighborhood, the Asian neighborhood, or black. They'll get hands put on them quick. So I think she grew up with maybe some scary black people down south because, you know, the history. And so when she brought up Dr. York, I just listened. 'Cause I'm used to this. See, she's not used to this. I am used to this. People attacking Dr. York, and he's a pedophile, and he didn't get charged for rape. I said no, he got charged for the Mann Act. They tried to get him for rape, but there was no physical evidence. So the feds superseded their indictment over the state of Georgia and got him with the Mann Act, which he wasn't guilty of either. But when I brought up her friend Mike, it was in comparison to the significance and the weight of going to prison. Some people go to prison politically, but she's an older woman too. She doesn't understand political. I'm like, people, I don't know, our down south brothers and sisters, I think they're struggling mentally. I think they're really struggling mentally. I know Noble Drew Ali talked about this 100 years ago. He said down south, they need some help. He said, Noble Drew Ali said, my brothers and sisters, the Moors down there need help. They don't know what even existence is. You know, it's pretty, and I clearly seen what Noble Drew Ali seen, heard on this call. And so we had gotten into, like, I think 2 other arguments before about ignorant stuff, y'all. I brought myself down to a cardinal level with this woman. And so at the end, she starts yelling. And I just stood quiet. I'm like, okay, well, I'll wait for my time to talk. And, you know, I got too many other things going on for me to get amped up over this. Because of your lack of understanding, you know, your lack of understanding. The things I'm talking about may be too big for you to digest. You know, being from a small little Negro town in Georgia and not seeing many things in life, and you know, but I'm always a cool cat. You know, I'm from California. I'm a cool brother. So, you know, we just let her talk, let her scream, because I'm like, look, as she was doing this, I was thinking, you know, why is there's pain coming from somewhere. There is pain. And when she started talking about my fiance, then I knew that, because I would say, you know, I'm going to take care of my fiance. She don't have to work if she don't want to, because that's what a man does. You know, that's what she going to work for my companies. That's what a Nuwabian man does. And I think she was jealous when she heard this. You know, this was before she started yelling at the end. And she's, oh, that girl ain't gonna like you. I'm like, wow. It was pure hatred. And it made me think back to the Master Teacher's book, Black Devils. You know, I'm a big avid fan of Kevin Samuels too. So, and I'm thinking, this is the stuff that Kevin Samuels is going through on his show. Except me, I thought I was just talking. You know, we would talk about issues with the community. She didn't. Well, anyway, without knowing really who you are, you can't have any solutions. If you don't know who you are, where you're from, or where you got to go, and all you can really do is just exist. And that's where the Caucasoid has these down south Negroes. And Negroes in other places too, that's not from California, New York included. But the Dr. York said the devil did a great job on so-called black people. You know, the Master Teacher said this. And yeah, he did, man. I say it's the Caucasian's responsibility to go back and tell the Negro who he is, because that's the only people the Negro gonna listen to, except for those black people that know deep down inside they're not black and they want to claim something else, right? They want to claim something else. So for that type of person, there is salvation on earth. But for the black people to say, oh, you just don't want to be black. Oh, you're right. You're right, genius. I don't. And I'm not. So what you mad about now, huh? They always going to be mad about something. They always going to be mad about something. So the best thing to do, in hindsight, is to leave the Negro alone, for they have no Fairth means soul in Old English. They have no fairth. There's nothing left. If you listen to the music of the next generation, you're gonna notice that there's pretty much nothing left for the young generation. I'm talking about blacks. There's nothing. Listen to the music. There's very few brothers with soul left. You know, in our parents and even in our generation, we had Jodeci, we had Shy, we had, even though R. Kelly did that thing with Deuce of York, R. Kelly made beautiful music, SWV. We had people with soul. You don't really, I'm not that deep into, I'm older, so, you know, I'm always going to listen to underground hip hop. That's always been my thing. But with with the new generation Z and Alpha, I don't see no soul. You know what I'm saying? And this is where the Democrats and the Jewish communists have taken the Negro. And they're still Caucasians, you know. So this is, you know, hating Republicans, but Republicans ain't making you poor. It's the Democrats making you poor. Right? If you look back at their history, that's the party of slavery. Republicans were actually anti-slavery. If you actually go back and pick up a book, which the Negro does not read, right? He's not being beaten anymore. There's no law, even down south, there's no law that says the Negro, the colored person, or the black person cannot read, right? Okay, so why aren't they reading? That's the question. As a Nuwabian, I would like to ask, why aren't black people reading? Why, in this day and time, how come you don't know who you are? You're still calling yourself a color, but no culture nor any land is called black. And black is an English word, right? Coming out of German. It actually means pale. You know, so the Caucasoid is really black. But anyway, see, I'm taking your mind through a trip of words, because the origins of words, which they want to call etymology, is really word history. The phrase word history should be used in English. So why aren't they picking up a book and reading about themselves? The farthest they get is like Kemet, you know, which, you know, I have some blood from Ramesses III, right? I did my genealogy, not my genealogy, but my blood work, my DNA work. And so I'm connected to Ramesses III as the Afar, the United Nuwabian Nation of Moors. Now, I could get into the DNA hoax. There is a hoax in the DNA, right? The DNA cannot tell you what tribe you're from. That's a cultural thing. And they can't tell you exactly how your people migrated. Those are theories. And you know, the Caucasoid presents theories as facts and truths, but it's not. And they'll come out, oh, you know, human beings started off that. That's all theory. You know, niggas believe it. You know, Nuwabians do not believe that. No, we don't believe nothing. If you can't show us the proof, we don't have a belief system. We have a truth system. It's called Nuwabu, and that's, you know, one of the aspects of Nuwabu. So anyway, back with the sister. She just started screaming, bro. Screaming like we were in a full-fledged like relationship. I said, this woman then lost her mind. Lost it. She lost it, y'all. Let me say one thing to the Moorish sisters out there, whether Nuwabian or American. Let me explain this. All that feminism, I'm a strong black woman, raising 10 kids on your own, that started from Caucasian women. And since black people don't have a culture, it was easily infiltrated into the neighborhoods, into the black neighborhoods, which we were all part of, even as Moors. You know, because we have the same genetics, we just choose more honor than the black person. We have more honor than Negroes do, because Negroes only acknowledge slavery, just like Juneteenth. I don't know. I guess the Texas slaves didn't know they were freed, you know. everything they celebrate is slavery, pushed by Jewish communist Democrats. All right, like the SPLC hates Nuwabians. Cool, we hate you too. You know, we don't care about the SPLC. It's just a non-profit organization with a bunch of racist, Caucasoid Jews, communist Jews. Peace to the brother Stephen Coakley. Now that I say that, Coakley taught us a lot about their internal operations and how they work. So we should have strategies to deal with these racist people, hateful people too. You know, they hate Nation of Islam, Black Panthers. You know, if you have the genetic structure of a Moor, they hate you. Unless you're a coon Moor like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Barack Obama. You know, the coons. You know, the ones who play into the communism, right? So anyway, I had to I had to block the sister, you know, and I tried to calm her down, and and then she said, "Oh, that wasn't me. That wasn't me." I said, I just stood quiet, you know. Hopefully she'll come to some type of revelation that I'm not saying I'm perfect either, you know. I said something that triggered her, you know, and she just went off. She need a man, y'all. Now, I'm not the man for it, but she needs a man. That's why I bring up all these black women. They dying alone. They dying alone, bro. This is sad. It's sad. They whole life, they passed up good men that would take care of them, help them out in life when they got older, help them out in life in their middle age, when they're younger. And they just pass. Oh, he not good enough for me. He's not. Some of them want gangsters. You know, they want gangsters. They want, and I'm like, and then they get older. The black woman's not using her brain. She has no culture. She just does what she wants. Like the Aleister Crowley philosophy of Freemasonry, right? Do what thou will, which turned into do your own thing. You know, do your own thing. I'm doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? Black in the 90s, I was saying, you know, Spike Lee, I think, made this movie is called Doing Your Own Thing or something like that. Even that started from a Caucasian. Aleister Crowley, look him up. The most evilest man in the world, they called him. So this is who's guiding the Negro community. And then you got the sellout Negroes who are part of these Greek fraternities that I'm not even gonna get into that. Watch Stephen Coakley. So there's a lot of things going on, y'all. It's happening. It's getting worse. I hope black women don't start killing black men because they don't want to date them. I actually had a foresight about that because I think the emotions are getting that out of control, where the black woman is only marrying at 23%, 24%. I think Kevin Samuels said 24%. That's sad. That's sad. And a lot of Moorish men are just dating out of their race. You know, kind of like me. You know, except I grew up around a lot of Asians in Walnut, California, so I kind of feel like I grew up multicultural, they say. But even growing up multicultural, other cultures just stamp you out and take over resources. Right, because black people don't have a culture, so they have nothing to stand up for. And these other people do. They have thousands of years of history, family culture, language, dress. They could assimilate to American life, but they still speak their language. They get good employment. You know, especially Asian kids that go to college, get straight A's. They're very strict on education, which is a good thing, to a point. Some of them go overboard, but to a point, it is good to emphasize knowledge, you know. And that brings up another point. We got to start coming out with our own schools. You know, I'm going to be making some speeches this year in Las Vegas, trying to rebuild, because there's nothing really happening as far as the community itself. People are looking for answers, but either Nuwabians are scared or, you know, they need the master teacher to hold their hand. They're not really men. I was talking with the brother Jamet from prison yesterday. A lot of the older people, they're just olders. They're not elders, because elders means to grow in space, time, and knowledge. Not verbatim, but you know what I'm saying. You're growing. It has nothing to do really with age. has to do with what you're learning, which you're disciplined enough to become a neophyte and go through the steps that it takes to become one who is God, the title of God. So this is what we mean as Nuwabians. So when we see an older so-called Nuwabian acting ignorant, understand you're an older, not an elder. You're an older. You're just old, but you ain't learned nothing. And I've spoken to plenty of brothers like that for the last 7 or 8 years. Oh, I walked with the master teacher. Okay, you walked with the master teacher. Cool. So what can you do now? As a man standing on his own, what can you do now? And you're gonna, nothing. They can't do nothing. They're 50, 60, even 70 years old, could barely even take care of themselves. I'm not talking about physical ailments. I'm talking about mentally. Just knowing, you're not a Nuwabian. Not a Nuwabian. You don't even know how to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? So, Nuwabians aren't perfect. There's Nuwabians that can't take care of themselves. At least they do have some knowledge. But this is not a good showing to the younger generation, someone like me. It's not a good showing. And so we just need to do better. You're failing out there. You need to do better. You need to pick up yourself off the ground and stand up for something. Have some type of standards. The world out here is going crazy. It's changing so fast. Turn off the TV. Now, I'm also guilty of watching a lot of YouTube. I'm a businessman also. Before I came in the nation, I was a businessman. I'm an IT engineer by trade, and I'm also a businessman. I've elevated from the IT engineer into business ownership with land. I own stocks, companies that I run, and I'm still the head of the nation. I still do these things, and now that I look at 44 years old as an elder, and I'm looking, I need to get out there and make speeches because people are in deplorable situations. See, the architects of the financial systems, the money changers, they're making everybody poor. You simply just can't have an employment or even making $150,000 a year as a household. You're still barely making it. Barely making it. You're barely making it because they made the housing prices so high now. So you should have been a student before. If you're around my age, you should have seen what was happening. If you listen to certain financial people like Peter Schiff, Jim Rogers, even Warren Buffett. If you want your money and your wealth to multiply, you got to study the game. You got to study the game. You wonder why you're broke, you're mad, then you cry to the Democrats, and then they don't do nothing for you. You just put them in power and they don't do nothing for you. That's because they don't respect you. Just like in Chicago, they let the immigrants come in and take over black communities. They don't care about you, bro. And the Democrats themselves be black. They don't care about you, man. Because there's no culture, there's no rope to keep black people indivisible. So they'll always, they can't go back to their ancestors and say, look, we all come from this ancestor. Black people don't talk like that for unification. You know what I'm saying? Then you got like Black Lives Matter. That's a communist, feminist movement. I don't support that crap. It's crap. They don't stand for nothing. They advocate against men. There's some weirdo stuff going on here, but they always use black people as the catapult for their, their political thought process, their thought foregoings. So at the end of the day, Nuwabu is the savior. It is the savior. There should be a Nuwabian political party within the American system. Because this black stuff, it ain't working. It's not working, guys. It's not working. There's no culture behind it. There's just slavery of the color purple. Or black people don't even have music, because that's really American music, right? Hip hop is American music. It's not Nuwabian music. It could be made Nuwabian, owned by Nuwabians, distributed by Nuwabians, sold by Nuwabians, so the money stays in the Nuwabian community. But black people don't care about that. Long as I get mine, I got the bag, It's a total world of retardation. They're retarded. They don't know what they're doing alive. They don't know what to do with the money. It's retarded. Like Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy, he was rich. He probably still is rich. But if you got to do that to get money, he done lost your damn mind. And LeBron James, they was all doing stuff at the parties, man. Snoop Dogg too. He went. He guilty too. They're all guilty by association. You know. So the real hip hop dudes don't do stuff like that. The fake ones, like, you know, I'm not saying Puff was actually real. He was really doing all that stuff. He's a sick person. He's just a sick person. But if you have to do that to get money, bro, and then you got straight dudes in the music giving each other head, giving the owner of the record company head. Puff ain't the only one. You could best believe he's not the only one. That's an accepted practice by the devil. Sickening. It's sickening. It's totally sickening what these freaks are doing. So Nuwabians, stay away from that. Stay away from that. There's a lot of demonic forces within the music industry. Stay away from music. You know what I mean? Also need to pick up the little guidebook for Nuwabians so you'll learn how to operate in your day-to-day life. Read the tablets. If you're a Muslim in Nuwabian or you're Muslim in Moorish, we just came out with Allah's Holy Quran, which is the second edition to El's Holy Quran. Things have been updated on it. Not the text, but the text headers, the chapter headers, where it talks about the wrong chapter, the right chapter. Those were in reverse, in error in the first edition. We corrected that in the second edition. So hopefully you'll pick that up. It's in the Amazon store. It's in the eBay store. Where we'll put it on the website too, which is www.holytabernacleministry.org. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbi Alamina. Ar-Rahmi ar-Rahimi. Maliki Yami Adini. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'inu. Ahdina at-sirata al-mustaqima. All right. I think that's all we have for today. The next episode, as I get set up here in my truck, is going to be... Hold on, let me adjust my mic real quick. There we go. So, yeah, it's going to be reading over the 9-ball, and I apologize for being away for this long, but you know, we got to get cash flow coming into the nation, into our companies, into our fraternity, which is holytabernacleministries.org. So that's about it. A lot of Nuwabic words coming out. The language has changed so much, y'all. We need to put out the teacher's guide. We'll be working on that. It'll probably be like a year or two before it even comes out. But I thank you for listening to the show. Much love and care to all the Nuwabians, all the Moors. We understand the significance of this day and time, and that the devil is going for ultimate power, especially in the United States of America. So we got to go somewhere. We got to be led somewhere. I don't know where the other leaders are out of Nuwabu, but I don't know. Seems like the brothers gave up However, I've never felt like that. And there's always a rebuilding phase after the master teacher got locked up and kidnapped by his sister, Wakia. She stole a lot of property out of the York family trust that she's guilty of. So she should probably be hung for that. And the paperwork is right there. As soon as Dr. York went in, she took all of his stuff. And actually, Dr. York's offspring ain't too smart. I was talking with a brother from prison, and it doesn't seem too smart. I hope that the brother can get him out, but he seemed a little bit too like bragging street stuff to really do anything serious in life. And don't look like Uma York could really do much either. She can go on some YouTube shows, but using your father to get some fame, that's not cool. You know, I don't use Dr. York to get fame. I build it myself. You know what I mean? I just build it myself. You know, I don't see what's wrong with. Let me put this out too. A lot of niggas don't want to work. A lot of niggas don't want to work. Going back to Dr. York's offspring, the nation doesn't care if you're Dr. York's offspring. We only care, do you have knowledge, wisdom, and under and overstanding? You know, do you have sound reasoning? Then we know you're from your father. But just because you're the same blood type, you don't have the same culture as your father. And so I think they're finding that hard to put together. And when faced with the challenges of life, Dr. York's offspring doesn't do very well. They falter. It's like throwing a rock through a glass house. They falter. They disappear. They falter. Can't count on them. I've never had to count on them. I count on me. I count on me. So the things that I do, I produce and I fund myself. You know, I make investments. This is what I do. I read books. I read a lot of books. So this is what I'm observing. And I think they deserve something because they're Dr. York's son. And Dr. York already spoke about this about like 30 years ago. It's on audio. He said, I don't care if they're my offspring. They're going to have to put in that work, just like I did, right? And that's the only thing we respect over here is Nuwabians. You know, we've had some of them try to ask for ID cards and, you know, not all of them, but some of them. Some of them cool with. They might not even like what I'm saying, but it is what it is. I'm a grown man, and I'm gonna say what I have to say. It's just a little criticism. If you can't take a little criticism in life, then you shouldn't come out the hole. That goes for anybody. And if you put yourself on a public medium, a podcast or YouTube or whatever, be prepared for criticism. It's coming. It's coming. Even if it has no substance, it's coming. The hatred and the jealousy is real, and the envy is real. So it's coming. All you could do is hold tight to Nuwabu and keep doing your thing. You know, a rapper from Brooklyn named Asiatic said, I stay away from haters because I know how they feel inside, but never worry. You know what I'm saying? Never worry. Keep doing what you're doing. So, with that being said, that's everything I had to say for today's episode. In the next episode, we will continue with the reading of the 9 Ball. Until then, stay safe, study Nuwabu, form your communities, because we coming. Wadu.